Today we are going to discuss stem-changing verbs. We have just discussed regular verbs. So stem-changing verbs are irregular. So this means that there's also a change in the spelling of the stem when the verb is conjugated, on top of the ending changing to denote who is talking. This spelling change happens with all of the subjects except the nosotros and the vosotros. If we look at our verbs, they always have two parts. They have the stem, which tells the meaning of the verb, and they have the ending that changes based on the subject. If we look, for example, at hablar, habl is the stem, and the ar is the ending. For comer, com is your stem, and er is the ending. For vivir, viv is the stem, and the ir is the ending. We're going to discuss two new verbs that you can be using this unit. Preferir and querer. Both of these verbs will have a change in spelling to the stem, as well as a change in the ending to denote who is talking. Let's take a look at one stem-changing verb that we have already seen this year. To review, we have already talked about the verb tener, to have. This verb is a stem changer, and its stem changes from e to ie. It also has an irregular yo. The easiest thing to do with stem changers is to memorize. So remember that to say I have, we say yo tengo. No change in the ending, but we do have the irregular yo form. But notice with the to form and the el, ella, usted, as well as the ellos, ellas, ustedes, we change our e, that first e, changes to an ie when we conjugate. Tú tienes, él, ella, usted tiene, and then ellos, ellas, ustedes tienen. Our nosotros and our vosotros do not have this spelling change. Whenever you have a stem-changing verb in Spanish, it happens just because it makes it easier to pronounce that word. So we're going to take a look at preferir, and we're going to take a look at querer as well. So we have preferir, which is an e to ie stem changer. And our goal is to conjugate preferir in the yo form to say I prefer. So step one is to remove the ending. So we have preferir, and we're going to take off the ir. We're going to be left with just the stem. So the stem is prefer. Step two, we're going to change that underlined e to an ie. So this second e becomes an ie. And for stem-changing verbs, you just need to memorize which letter is the letter that will change when conjugated. There is no magic trick. So we have prefer to prefier. And then finally, you add the appropriate ir ending for the yo form. So we go from prefier to prefiero. So now we're saying I prefer. Yo prefiero. Oops. If we look at the nosotros form to say we prefer, note that there is no stem change in the nosotros or the vosotros. Think no sotros. So we have step one, remove the ending. So we have preferir becomes prefer. And then step two is just to add the appropriate ir verb ending for the nosotros form. So preferir becomes preferimos. So let's take a look as a whole. So we have yo prefiero, tú prefieres, él, ella, usted prefiere, nosotros preferimos, vosotros preferéis, and ellos, ellas, ustedes prefieren. Take a moment to look through and think if you have any questions. Note that the second e did change from e to ie for the yo, tú, él, ella, usted, and ellos, ellas, ustedes forms. Now let's look at querer, which means to want. This is also an e to ie stem changer. Our goal is to conjugate querer in the ella form to say she wants. Step one is to remove the ending, so querer becomes quer. And then we're going to change that underlined e to an ie. Again, we need to memorize. Querer, quer becomes quier. And then we add the appropriate er ending for ella. We get quiere. Let's take a look at all of those forms. So we have yo quiero, tú quieres, él, ella, usted quiere, nosotros, no change, queremos, vosotros queréis, ellos, ellas, ustedes quieren. You can pause here if you want to look